Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a cage tour. Thank you to Animals Animated for requesting this video. So let's get started. I'm going to do all of my birds' cages. So the first bird's cage I'm going to be showing you today is Ducky's cage. This cage is a flight cage. I got it off of Amazon. It is 32 inches wide, 21 inches deep, and 35 inches tall without the stand. The stand is also pretty tall, and it's got a rack on the bottom to store things if you want to do that. So let's get into the cage tour. On the outside of the cage here is a little perch. It's got a wooden block and some paper that sticks out of it, and they really like to chew on it, especially Kermit, which is surprising because it's Ducky's cage. But at the front here we have her water and her food. Ducky actually has two food bowls because one is for her vegetables and the other one is for her pellets. And then right next to the food bowl we have this blue perch, which is actually a nail trimming perch. It's got a smooth top as to not irritate their feet, and some grit on the sides to keep their nails worn down. Next we have this rope perch that connects the front and back of the cage. This is where she usually sleeps, and she uses it quite often. On the back of the cage there's this wall toy, which she really likes, and she has chewed up the front of it. She often likes to sit on top of it as well, but it's just got little paper strands for her to chew on, and it's made of seagrass, and it's a really great toy for them. And then next to that we have a platform perch. This allows them to lay their feet flat if they ever feel tired, and Ducky does use this quite often as well. And then right above it is this toy. It's got little leather and wooden blocks for her to chew on, which she doesn't use this one very much, but it looks fun. Then inside we have this toy as well, which is made of little grass leaves, and she really likes to chew on this one. As you can see, she has shortened this and this and this. Then right here we have this double wooden branch perch, which is very convenient because it's two perches in one. It is a manzanita wood perch, very hard wood, very difficult for the birds to destroy. And then we have this wooden bridge with colorful steps that connects the front and the back of the cage so she can get around the cage without having to fly, which she actually does not do in the cage because her wings are too long. This perch is really neat. It's actually like a little L shape, and she likes to sit on the end of it, and it's just really cool. I have not seen perches like this before. And then this toy has finger traps and crinkle paper for her to shred. And then on this side of the cage there is another wood perch with her pellet bowl, which has mostly Harrison's pellets in it because that's what I feed my birds. And back here is another wood perch with some more bark on it for her to chew, and this toy right here. And then in the front of the cage there's just another toy with finger traps and crinkle paper because she really likes those. A lot of birds do. Moving on to the bottom half of the cage, we have another rope perch that goes all the way across the cage. It is a 32-inch rope perch, and it's kind of like a highway between the cage. Back here we have a toy with wicker balls and some more grass leaves for her to shred, a small rope perch for her to sit on, and this toy right here, which is quite large, and she does not use very often, but it's still in there. And then next to that we have another double wooden perch, which has two branches in one. And then lastly we have this ladder over here, very tall. It connects the bottom of the cage all the way up here so she can get to her food and water if she ever finds herself on the bottom of the cage. And this other wooden perch here, and another toy with finger traps and crinkle paper as well. Something I forgot to add was that she has another perch right here coming from the front of the cage, and this toy, which is from Planet Pleasures, and it is made of paper. So moving on to Kermit's cage. Kermit's cage is the biggest of all of our birds' cages, and it was the most expensive as well. This cage is 32 inches wide, 23 inches deep, and 40 inches tall, not including the stand. It also has a dome top, which has an extra fold-out door that acts as a platform for the birds to sit on. The main door is what I use to put him in and take him out of the cage. So in this corner over here, we have this small rope perch on the outside of the cage that Pearl really likes and uses it a lot to do flips. Inside here, we have the same blue perch that Ducky's cage had and Kermit's water bowl. And then we have this long rope perch that connects the entire cage together so he does not have to climb so much. It goes all the way from here to the back of the cage and the other side. In this corner over here, we have his food bowl, which contains both pellets and vegetables, and this tea perch, which is made of dragon wood. Over here, we have a long toy that reaches all the way to the bottom of the cage, and a wooden ladder made of ropes that allows him to climb all the way up here. Up here we have a Java wood perch. It is very large and he spends a lot of time here playing with the toys. There is this toy, which is woven out of seagrass and also has some wooden blocks and is made of the same material as this toy over here. And then back over here we have this cardboard toy which he completely destroyed, like ripped it to shreds. And then over here there is another platform deck sort of perch. This one is a corner perch and he uses it a lot to beg to come out of the cage for some reason. And then over here we have this very long wooden perch which with bark on it as well. It goes pretty much halfway across the cage. And then next to that perch, all the way on the side of the cage, is this toy, which is full of colorful, crinkly paper for him to pull on. And then comes his favorite spot, which is the rope perch at the top of his cage, along with his favorite toy, which is a basket with some popsicle sticks, and he loves to hide behind it for some reason. He's a crazy bird. On this side of the cage, we have this rope orb swing, which has some chains on it and blocks for him to play with. And back here, all the way in this corner, is a grapevine perch, very good for their feet because it is very nice and crooked and wavy, and the birds really like it. It's really a great perch. And then this toy has a lot of colorful parts to it and some hanging stars. And then on the bottom of his cage, he has this colorful wooden ladder that leads up to this perch, which is a double branch perch made of dragon wood, and a wooden bridge toy with some hanging blocks as well for him to play with. And in this corner, he has a wavy swinging perch, which he never uses, but I hope he does. And this toy. So, moving on to our next cage, we have Bluebell's cage. This cage is 24 inches wide, 22 inches deep, and 42 inches tall, not including the stand. This cage has a seat guard all around it to prevent the mess from getting on the floor. And the most notable feature in this cage and Bluebell's favorite perch is this U-shaped rope perch, which is all the way up here and dips down. This is Bluebell's favorite spot and goes all the way back up to this side of the cage. On this side we have a ring swing with some bells for her to play with. And then in the back here, hi Bluebell, is her rope spiral swing, which is really long and goes all the way down here. But on this side of the perch, We have Bluebell's cuddle bone holder with her cuddle bone. This toy, which is the same as in Ducky's cage, it has some finger traps and some flowers for her to play with. Down here we have a pinata toy from Planet Pleasures. It is made of colorful paper for her to shred, and this wooden perch for her to sit on. Above that there is a tea perch made of wood. This toy and a really big toy back here. This toy is made of corn husks and some paper, and it has a bell on the bottom. Now down here we have this rope perch that goes from one side of the cage to the other. On this side there is her food bowl and her water bowl, and on this side there's just a ring where an extra food bowl can go. And then in the really back of the cage, there's this toy which has some coconut fibers and ropes. This toy, which is basically a huge jumble of things, and this colorful perch, which is also on the outside of Ducky's cage, and this little ring toy, which is really mostly for decoration and she never uses it. And then over here is her favorite toy of all. This is called a bird kebab. She has completely destroyed the middle, as you can see. It's made of soft wood and she just shreds it into pieces. As you can see, she's been working on it today. Those are the pieces. And this is her deck platform perch that she actually sleeps on a lot because it's got a flat surface, and she really likes this perch. Now Bluebell is a pretty unique bird because she does like to spend a lot of time on the bottom of her cage. So we have a lot of toys for her, such as these balls and this crinkly paper ball and this thing for her to just throw around and play with on the bottom of her cage. Then there's this colorful ladder that goes up to here, and this perch is just a perch for her to sit on. And then over here we have this Y-shaped wooden perch made of dragon wood. And this toy is actually made of the same material as the bird kebabs, which she shreds these little logs here. Finally, at the very top of the cage, there's this Y-shaped wooden perch with a thick branch and a thin branch, which provides plenty of exercise for her feet, and a little toy next to it to keep her occupied. Now moving on to our very last cage, this is Pearl's cage, and it's the same model as Bluebell's cage, except it is in brown. And I know you might be wondering why they're in separate cages, but we did get Pearl as a companion for Bluebell at the beginning, but it just didn't really work out. And Pearl over here is much more interested in Kermit for some reason. So outside of Pearl's cage, there is this perch. It's kind of an interesting shape, and Kermit uses it a lot. There is this colorful foraging toy, which you can put seeds in, and they will work to get it out by putting their beaks through these holes and moving these wooden blocks. So let's go ahead and let Pearl out so we can see her cage. So inside of the cage, there is this perch, which is made of bottle brush, and this perch is very good for birds that like to chew on the bark. It has very soft bark, and Pearl loves to chew on this bark here. As you can see, she has chewed a lot of it off. And then over here, we have her vegetable dish and her water dish. She has the same setup as Ducky, where she has a separate dish for her pellets and vegetables. And then next to that, we have a small rope perch with a colorful small toy with little charms on it for her to play with and talk to. And then over here, we have the dowel perch that came with the cage, which I usually don't recommend, but I just decided to use it for Pearl since she has many other perches. And this goes across the cage and leads to her pellet bowl. And over here, we have a flat platform perch, because it's always good to have one of these in all of your birds' cages to give them a spot to rest. Over here we have this ladder, which has little beads on it for them to play with and slide back and forth, as opposed to one of those boring ladders. This perch is a swing. It's kind of like a ladder and a swing combined, and it's got little little perches all around it for her to sit on if she wants to use that. And then over here in the back we have a Y-shaped wooden perch made of manzanita wood, and this toy, it's a wall with some dangling rings and charms for her to play with, and it's made of a seagrass mat. Over here, there's a colorful ring toy, much like in Bluebell's cage. It is for decoration. And moving up here, this is a triple branch perch, which she really likes to sit on, and this kind of her main perch in the cage, with a little ball toy and a bell. Up here we have her rope perch that goes from this corner over here, and her spiral boing that is very long and goes down here all the way to this perch. And then in the corner here there's this little toy. She really likes this sort of plastic toys with charms because she really likes to talk to them for some reason. Up here we have another one of those types of toys, and this toy over here made of bells. Very colorful bells. She loves to talk to this one. And then in the back there is this toy, which is kind of a basket, which has little beads for her to talk to as well. And her triangle swing with this ring and a little flute for her to preen at the bottom, just like this. And then we have this sort of bridge toy with bells dangling from it, and this toy up here with a soft wood column in the center and lots of things for her to play with. Then up here we have this very unique U-shaped wooden perch with another colorful toy with a bell for her to talk to. This perch is very unique because it's a wooden perch, but it's actually in a U shape, and she really likes to sleep up here for some reason. Probably because it's at the top of the cage. And then there's this triangle toy. It's got two triangles and it's got dangly ropes and beads. So guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. The birds are crazy, they fly around a lot.